Okay, so we should be live on Facebook. Hi, Facebook. Just like we said at 11 o'clock, we were going to go live.
Hi,
so
Facebook.
We are here, and I'd like you to say hi to who I have in the studio. Of course, you guys know me. I'm Colleen Biggs. This is Ashlyn Leba, a.k.a. Bill. And then we have Kathleen Mold over on the end right there. And we're going to have Megan on the phone. So you guys are going to be hearing Megan as soon as she gets with us. Oh, yeah,
Megan's
this is
patched
good.
in.
Perfect. Hi, Megan. How are you?
I'm great. How are you today?
Awesome. Awesome. So glad that you're joining us today. We're going to get started here in just a few minutes. They're going to do the intro.
Yep, got about a minute.
Okay, perfect. So everyone can hear you on Facebook, and they'll be able to hear the whole interview. They just won't be able to see you. Sorry, guys, you don't get to see Megan today. And before we get started, I wanted to share with Facebook this book that I received, Living an Empowered Life by Susan Burrell, a good friend of mine. She just sent me this book that she completed. It's a 30-day journey book, peppered with daily meditations and wisdoms. And it's a really cool book because you can see here, by looking at it, you've got like different places you can journal, and there's just different pieces of the book. So even though it might look big, it just is activities, it looks like, just every day of 30 days of what you can do, and journaling and sharing your thoughts and reading some pieces. It's very educational. So I highly recommend this book. I'm pretty sure you can find it on Amazon.
All right, 12 seconds.
Okay, thanks. now I got some in my throat.
Yeah, right?
Megan, I'm going to come in first, and then... Yeah, that was not my intro. That's. I'm going to bring. I'll be bringing you in after I open up the show. Okay,
Speak up to lead up
it'll
with
be about
Colleen
5
Biggs.
minutes or so.
Are you ready to lead without permission and take the steps needed to live your best life? Whether you want to start the business of your dreams or celebrate your present and future accomplishments, you're definitely in the right place. Now, here is your host, Colleen Biggs.
We're starting. Well, hello, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending upon which time zone you're listening for. And I say that because we're in like 13 countries. Super weird. But with all of our listeners and all of our countries, I'm so happy that you join us every single week and that you're empowered and inspired by all of our interviews and the beautiful women that we have on the show. And you know, we do interview men, but it's very few, far, and in between. And I'm very particular on which men I actually put on the show because I want them to be inspiring and very supportive of women and have a message to share. But first of all, I want to open up with, how have your gratitudes been going? We've been doing a lot about gratitudes. I started in November. I want to know, have you guys been practicing your gratitudes? How have they been going? Have you had any luck with feeling better every day? So send me an email at info@leadupforwomen.com. I really want to know how. I'm just struggling with my mic today. What's going on? It's like falling or something. Anyway, so I really want to know how you guys are feeling with that. So feel free to send me at any time, whether you're listening to this live. If you're on Facebook, you can put it in the comments section. Wherever you are, just make sure that you are just letting us know how you feel. I want to know. How are gratitudes working for you? Your daily 10 gratitudes that you're writing down. Because I have the attitude of gratitude every morning at about 7:15. That's when I start my gratitudes. And I have to share with all of you, you've heard me talk about the sanctuary. You've heard me talk about our events this year. We were just at the sanctuary this past week, and I have Ashlyn Leba here in the studio with me. Ashlyn, say hi to everybody.
Hey, everyone.
And Ashlyn was at the sanctuary.
Yes.
And I'm just going to let Ashlyn talk real quick about how she felt about the sanctuary. It's better to hear it from someone who was actually an attendee.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was, 3.5 days of everything I needed for, first of all, physically, like to actually step away from my daily routine, and the trainings and everything that were put on, the workshops, everything. I came back feeling really refreshed physically, mentally, and ready to kickstart some other things in my business.
Nice. Thank you for that. And I forgot to mention, we had Chef V. She's definitely a celebrity in the paleo world. And she cooks for so many people and is a 5-star chef. She cooks all paleo food, not necessarily Bill's favorite. During the entire time.
Still love you, V.
But I have to say, all of our bodies were clean. That, your cognitive brain function is better when you're eating clean. She taught everyone how to eat clean, how to take that success with them. And that's big. That's huge in your life. If you're not taking care of your body, like we did yoga, meditation every day, if you're not taking care of your body, if you're not giving back and serving, we went to Maggie's place and did some service. And if you're not nourishing your body and your soul with the things that it needs, you're going to suffer. And when you suffer, your business suffers. Make no mistake. If you are suffering, your business will suffer. If you are stuck, your business will get stuck. So remember that you have to take care of yourself. And we have provided platforms for you to do that through these sanctuaries. And I can't believe how many applications I've gotten since we were there and putting all the photos up online and showing all the fun we were having and all the deep dives we were taking. And, we showed all the good photos, right? All the beautiful photos, not the ones when we were all in tears or those times that were happening. But we went from 7 o'clock in the morning till sometimes 11 o'clock at night, working on some things and doing some late night fear burning, I like to call it. That was super fun. So anyway, again, I just want to invite everyone. All you have to do is go to leadupforwomen.com events. We have a ton of events out there, but that's our biggest one. And I need to give a really big shout out today to all of our sponsors who spent hours in either time or created these beautiful gifts for all of the attendees, or they donated goods like food and Scout and Cellar. Thank you, Desiree Michaels, for being our host for that, and the clean wine that you provided. Robert Worth Films, of course. Everyone knows that's my husband, and he provides all the videography for us. We have Paleo Magazine is a huge sponsor. Further Foods, The Date Lady, Primal Life Organics, Capello's, Base Culture, Moulet Sausage, Sweet Apricity, Stoka Nutrition, Lux CBD Butters, 3 Points Wellness, Kai Selenite Candles, Chalk to Me, doTERRA, and Size Does Matter. That was the Hummer that we took the day when we went to. So thank you so much for all of the sponsors that we had. Thank you for the transportation. Thank you for the beautiful gifts. It was really wonderful to be able to have all of you take part in that. So today we have a wonderful show. I don't want to make anyone wait any longer. Like I said, I have Ashlyn Leba in the studio. I also have Kathleen Mold in the studio and Megan Gray on the phone. So all of you ladies, please say hi to our listeners.
Hi.
Hey, Megan. I was making sure you were there. I'm so glad you're joining us today. And I'm going to go ahead and get started with Megan. Now, we're going to be talking a lot about the One Love Foundation today. And this, when I met Kathleen and learned about this story and this foundation, it really touched my heart. And I immediately had an opening and wanted to get Kathleen in as fast as I could. She brought in the entire team, One Love, of the One Love Foundation. And I had the pleasure of speaking with Kiki on the phone and Megan on the phone and Kathleen, and really coming up with a plan on how we can introduce this foundation to our community of Lead Up for Women, because we've added a philanthropic arm to our company this year. And as we did Maggie's Place, we're now doing a drive and serving them, because our ladies started with the weekend of serving them and hosting their Valentine's Day event, which was so much fun. Now we're moving on to the One Love Foundation, and we're going to be supporting them, and we want to do a drive, and you always feel good when you give back. So Megan, thank you for joining us today. Megan is the engagement manager. She's out of San Francisco, and she oversees the education and engagement programs in the Bay Area, working with the local schools and community-based organizations. So Megan, thank you so much for being on our show today and sharing with us about One Love.
Of course. Thank you for having me. It couldn't be better timing since it's the week of Valentine's Day and love is on a lot of different people's minds. I'm happy to jump in and tell you a little bit more about One Love if that's helpful.
Yes, I would love that. And I actually forgot that it was Valentine's Day week, so I'm glad that you brought that up. I'm sorry to my husband on that one that I had already forgotten about Valentine's Day. So I'm glad you mentioned it so we can make sure that we focus on that today, especially because we're talking about healthy relationships. So please, Megan, would you share would you share about One Love, what the foundation stands for, and why it was founded and created and put together?
Of course. So hi, everyone. I'm really grateful to be on the show with you all today, and thank you for calling in. For context, One Love is an organization that specializes in healthy relationship curriculum. We were founded in honor of a young woman named Yardley Love. She was a senior at the University of Virginia whose life was tragically cut short when she was killed by her ex-boyfriend. The family learned during the trial that her death could have been prevented had they recognized the signs of an abusive relationship, and they founded this organization to really educate and empower young people about the difference between healthy and unhealthy relationships. And we really do this in two ways. One, we have this amazing framework around the 10 signs of healthy and unhealthy that we provide schools, community groups, and young people everywhere. And then we have these amazing film-based workshops and peer-to-peer discussions where young people can sit down, watch a film, and then discuss where did they see warning signs, what was unhealthy, how do we help a friend when we see it, and who are the trusted adults in our lives that we can go to and have this discussion when things get out of hand. Because what we've realized is we don't talk about love and relationships enough. And the messages we're getting all around us might not always say that healthy and unhealthy point blank. So we're doing this work to really help students and young people understand what the difference is and really teach everyone that we have an opportunity to love better.
Amen, sister. We don't talk about love enough, do we? No, we don't. Nor do we hug each other enough. It's like because of technology, you text hearts.
Text an emoji hug.
You know what was really cute? I was at a summit yesterday, Megan, and it was really interesting because at the front of the room, she was talking about social media, and she's like, you wouldn't respond in person the way you do on social media. If someone was like, walked up to you and said, oh, Ashlyn, I love your shirt, you wouldn't just go and put your thumb out and just stare at the person with a thumbs up like, right? We hug people. I think with technology, people break up with each other over text, right? You know what I'm saying? So what I would love to learn from you, and I think the listeners would love to know a little bit more about this, is what are the signs of a healthy relationship? Can you share with us what are the signs of a healthy, signs of an unhealthy? And then we'll talk about how anyone listening can go find this 10 signs of healthy and unhealthy so that they anonymously can figure out if they're not sure if they're in a healthy or unhealthy relationship. They can use that as a determination. But I would love for you to share more.
Of course. I'll start with the healthy ones because I think that's fun, talking about love.
Yes.
First and foremost, we have comfortable pace. So we talk a lot about boundaries and healthy communication and really understanding where everyone's limits are and comfortability is. Mm-hmm. And then we have trust and honesty, which are hallmarks of any good relationship. Independence, which I think students struggle with a lot, and this idea of having your own priorities and your own time to yourself and your friends, and how do we compromise with our partners when they want to hang out all the time. And then respect and equality. So these are big ones, particularly with our high school work, and reminding students that equality doesn't mean it's 50-50 all the time, but it means that both people in the relationship feel respected and heard, and that they're giving an equal amount, whether that amount shifts from time to time. My two favorites are kindness and fun. I think we often skip over those, but they're just as important in a relationship than as anything else. We want to be able to have fun with our partner. We want to treat them kindly. Mm-hmm. And then our last two, which really go hand in hand, are taking responsibility for your actions and healthy conflict, which is one of our newer ones we added, but I think it's really a great reminder, particularly for young people, that you aren't always going to get along with another person, and that's okay. But how do we work through that together? Like you guys mentioned, we're in a digital age. How do we work through some of this stuff and this communication that's primarily online now?
Yeah, and you know the whole men are from Mars, women are from Venus thing, right? So if we're talking about a male and a female, I'll just use that for example. I know there's female and female partners, male and male partners, but I'm talking about a male-female partner. When we're talking about a male and female partner, men or anyone, they're raised in two different families, right? So you're raised in completely two different families. How can you expect that you are going to agree on everything when you were raised completely different, completely in separate two different families? Then if one of you is a male and one of you is a female, I mean, they think completely different. We're wired, right, ladies? We're wired completely different. We don't even think the same. So I love the healthy conflict, understanding there may be some conflict, which means you may not agree on everything. And sometimes you have to agree to disagree to get past something because you're not always going to agree, but it's okay to find a middle ground. And sometimes subjects are more important than others. Some aren't important to stand your ground on, and others you should just be able to let go of. I love that you're teaching, Megan, thank you, young children about this. And can you tell me the age groups that you're servicing the most?
Yes, so we've really focused primarily on middle and high school to get students and young people before they're in their first and second relationship.
Yeah.
And also because we're realizing that a lot of this unhealthy relationship behaviors take place first and foremost in your friendships. So if we can teach students how to have healthy friendships early on in middle school, then that will change the trajectory of their romantic relationships later on.
Okay, good. And how are these students finding you? Are you going into the schools everywhere across the nation? Do you have representatives that are, explain to me how it works. So if someone listening is working for a high school, I have so many friends that work in the schools or have children in the schools and they're on the boards. How would they figure out how to have a representative from One Love come in or speak about how to educate the children if they wanted to bring this into their high school at an assembly or an education piece?
Great question. So Yardley's mother was actually a teacher. So when they started this organization, she wanted to ensure that our curriculum was easy to use and easy to implement. And so we really pride ourselves on using a train the trainer model. All of our content, all of our curriculum, whether it's a film-based video or our discussion guides, it's available on our website. We have teachers from all over the country, everywhere from Alaska to Arkansas, who go on our website, will download these guides and bring it directly into their classroom. We see a lot of this take place in health, where this conversation is happening naturally. Homeroom, where they talk about a lot of the SEL topics. But really what we've noticed is that people are drawn to us because we've created tools to start this conversation as a non-expert. And I even have students who can lead this conversation peer-to-peer. So we have offices in 5 cities around the country. As you guys heard in the beginning, I'm located in the Bay Area, and we really help cover Arizona, Colorado, Hawaii, everything out here, and really help ensure that each school gets a personalized touch so that we can help you find the right fit and right content for your school. But really, it's super easy to use, and most people find us organically on our website.
I love that. So tell me what your website is so everybody on Facebook and everybody listening knows how to get the material so that they can utilize it.
Yes, it is www.join1love.org. And if you email us, you can just email us directly at info@joinonelove.org, and one of my teammates would be responding to you in 48 hours.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Now, I know that we're going to be heading to break soon. So, Megan, I want to thank you so much for being with us. But I do want to switch over to Kathleen, because when I met Kathleen, she told me the heartfelt story of how she's related to Yardley or Yardley's best friend, and how that's how it personally has affected her and touched her life. I was like practically in tears when she was telling me the story. So Kathleen, I know we have about a minute for break. So let's just do this. I'm just going to break, and this will just keep all of our listeners with us because now I want to dive into the background and how your niece was best friends with Yardley, what that was like and where they were and what happened, and really dive into the full story and share that with our listeners when we get back from break. Are you good with that?
That's great.
All right, awesome. Everyone stay with us. It's only a 2-minute break, and we'll be right back.
Okay, great.
Voice of Mirror's got to be loving me today. They're like, she broke early. That never happens.
That's great. Great job.
Don't get your hopes up. She'll be late next time.
Of course I will. What is wrong with this thing
I know.
today?
I'm going to just bring the arm
on the
out.
struggle bus.
There we go.
Mine's not.
Now I'm kicking.
Mine's not.
Well, mine
moving,
was just
so
further away. Or too far
Okay, I
away.
think
Good smile.
I think mine's
I'm
working.
good.
Yeah.
You're doing great over there. Ours
That's
are
good.
like, mine's falling
like going
and
all over
flipping.
the
And,
place.
hey, Facebook. Anyways,
yeah.
isn't that
I'm
an
shy.
amazing story that we're talking about today out
Gotta
there?
make sure I shared the
Everyone
Facebook.
say hi. Robert's in the studio today. We haven't been in the studio in a long time. We'll slide over real quick. Everyone slide in
come
with
to
your,
me.
with your little, keep your headphones on. We'll just slide over. Yeah, just slide over. Facebook gets to watch us do our photography moment. And we're just going to sit here and you in? Okay, good.
Am I in? That's good. You ready?
We're in.
2, 3, it's perfect. You good?
Thanks. Appreciate
you.
it. After we're done with the show, I'll share all the photos and videos with you. I'll just do it like a Google link. Don't expect them for like at least another few weeks, but we'll get them. Then I just have him work in between his, real full-time business that he runs.
Johnny Vo's on my Facebook, but when
Great.
he was when you were talking about gratitude, he says, "Awesome, my gratitude starts at 7 a.m. too."
Perfect. See, that's when
Good
my
time.
day starts. So I know some people get up earlier than me. I have to tell you, I'll tell all of you on Facebook right now, and Megan, I'll tell you too, because I'm not ashamed of this one. I used to get up at like 5 o'clock every morning when I worked for corporate. Kathleen, you worked for corporate for how many years?
Yeah, for like 30.
Zero dark 30. I would get
Yeah,
up in the morning, get a shower, get ready,
Right.
put on dress clothes, heels, drive 45 to 55 minutes to work in the dark, work all day, then come home late that night when it was dark 30 again. And that was my life for like 30 years. It was awful. There was just nothing fun about it whatsoever. I love it now that I get to be in the studio. I get to meet so many women. I get to interview them. I get to host events and sanctuaries and all of the workshops we do and online webinars that we do. It's just
15 seconds.
Thanks. It's just so great, to not have to get up and
I agree.
and have the time in the morning to write my gratitudes,
For sure.
do my meditation, spend the time I need to spend to get my day and my mind right, and then move on to my day,
Right.
which involves me walking into the office,
Right.
just across the house,
yeah.
instead of having to get in a car just like you. Yeah.
And I get to meet awesome women I
Yeah.
never would have met outside corporate women, of course.
Right.
But just in the community here
'Cause
where
you're
I
kind
live
of in
now.
a container,
For
right?
sure.
Yeah,
you're in a little box.
To reach the show today,
Yeah.
please call 1-888-346-9141. That's
coming back.
1-888-346-9141.
Aren't you guys excited? Today's a good show,
You may
huh?
also send an email to
Hate this mic check.
info@leadupforwomen.com.
What just happened?
Now, back to this week's show.
Awful. All right. I'm having all kinds of mic issues today in this studio. But anyway, so welcome back, everyone. I am your host, Colleen Biggs. You are listening to Lead Up for Women, Speak Up to Lead Up. And again, we have been speaking with Megan Gray. We've also are now speaking with Kathleen Mold, and we're talking about the One Love Foundation. And Megan shared with us so much information about the 10 signs of a healthy and unhealthy relationship and how easy it is to access that information if you want to access it for your own personal use or if you want to access it for your school and someone that, your kids to be able to be educated on it. If you wanted to give it to a principal, it's a train the trainer, which I love format. And you can find all that information. I believe I put it down. It's www.joinonelove.org. And now we're going to talk with Kathleen because Kathleen is very much connected to Yardley And so tell me how you're connected with Yardley.
Sure. So I just want to say thank you also that pleased and so surprised that I met you when I did. And this just came out of the blue. So thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate it. And so I reached out to Megan because I've been in touch with her for the last couple of years. But that came out of my niece in the Baltimore area, where Yardley and she went to school, and they've been friends since they've been 4 years old. So I obviously got to know her mom and her sister and Yardley really well, and they just all went off to college one day, and there we go. However, this tragedy happened right as everyone was going to graduate from the university. And unfortunately for Yardley, this very sad tragedy with the ex-boyfriend happened, and it impacted me and my niece so much that I just thought I have to find a way someday to keep getting the word out and teach people about relationships and being healthy and just loving the relationship without all the unhealthy going on.
What happened? What was the story? Was she in college when it happened?
It was,
Did she break up with him in college or a boyfriend in high school?
Well, she had been dating him a while, and then she had broken up with him, so we say ex-boyfriend. But they were ready to graduate, and everyone, my niece included, was on their way to their prospective graduations. And 2 days before all these graduations happening, Yardley left a social event and went back to their house and went to sleep. And the ex-boyfriend actually broke into the house and broke into her bedroom, and I guess the rest is story, sad. And she's now not here, and that's sad because she had a lot to offer, and we miss her very much. I know my niece misses her and her mom and her sister. So I thought, this is not a right situation, and we have to do something about it. And I'm so glad they started the One Love Foundation. Yeah. And Yardley is Yardley Love. So the one came from Yardley was a lacrosse player and a fantastic number one on her team. And her her T-shirt was always number one. So out of that came number one, and her last name Love. So One Love Foundation came out of that name.
I love that.
Yeah, so thank you for having me. We just have to keep going on and educating, I think. I think the problem is not the love part. It's educating what is the healthy part of the love relationship. So
this is a very important conversation to be having with your children. So moms, if you're listening and you've got some teenage kids or girls going off to college, or boys, it's boys and girls, because there are some boys that get into some very unhealthy relationships with females that have this abusive behavior as well, and they are in an unhealthy relationship. Pay attention to your children. Ask the questions. Go online to the website and download the information. You don't even have to know what to do. Just follow the format and ask the questions to see if they're in a healthy or unhealthy relationship, because they're taking our lead. And there's a lot that we can prevent as parents to reach out to our children and guide them. Wouldn't you think so, Kathleen?
I think that's most important today.
Yeah.
And even I'm so happy to hear Megan say they're starting younger today, because it's not just college students anymore. Yeah. Children are not they're children, but they're actually growing up faster, and they're dating at 10 and 12. And that wasn't when I grew up, but it is today. So we have to recognize that and help and educate as much as we can, and bring the parents in as well at that age, for sure.
I kissed my first boy in first grade. His name was Stephen Gates. Jeez, just saying.
Oh, I know. Gosh.
It happened.
Confession hour.
He kissed me. I'm saying that you're right. They are dating younger, and you can even see children as young as toddlers that maybe are having unhealthy relationships in the way that they're communicating and conversing with each other on the playground, in all of these situations. And it's really teachers, parents, all of the role models' responsibilities to make sure that we're making this information available for everybody. So we want to make sure that, you good over there?
The live video.
We want to make sure that we're making this available. So again, it's www.joinonelove.org or com.org. Joinonelove.org. Kathleen, thank you. Megan, thank you so much for being with us today and for sharing this information with all of our listeners. And it's not, this is not just limited to anybody in the United States. There are so many unhealthy, abusive relationships going on in every country in the entire world, and we need to continue to bring highlight to this. And if you want to find out how you can volunteer, how you can get involved, how you can donate, all of it is www.joinonelove.org. So thank you,
Great.
Kathleen.
Thank you.
Really
Thank
appreciate
you.
that. All right, we're going to move on to Ashlyn. And like Ashlyn mentioned, Ashlyn Leba, her nickname is Bill, in case you guys hear me say that. I believe in working with family. I think working with family is amazing. And I've had the pleasure of working with Bill as our amplified social media company. And she handles all of the social media for Lead Up for Women. There's no way I could do it all. And the one tip I can give everyone before we talk to Ashlyn is, if you don't have enough time, we all have the same time, remember. All of us. Bill Gates, Oprah Winfrey, Beyonce, me. We all have the same amount of time in one day. The only way to get more time is through resources. Hiring resources is the only way you get more time. If you have 10 people working on projects, you will get it done 10 times more than you will if you have one person working on it. So let that hit home for a minute. If you feel like you're exhausted and you're not able to get done what you need to get done in a day, and you feel like I feel about social media, where I just don't know what to do all the time. I don't know what to do. It's hard for me to wrap my head around it because that's not what I do best. It's not my natural skill and creative genius. It's her creative genius. Ashlyn Leba, welcome to the show. She is a creative genius in social marketing. So I'd like you to share with our listeners how you got started in social marketing, what you focus on, why it's so important to you, and a little bit about your story of how you got here.
Sounds good. Awesome. Yeah, thanks for having me. So I went to school to be a teacher, and so I became an English teacher in 2016. I taught 7th and 8th grade English. And loved it, but then I had my daughter in January of 2018, I guess. Mm-hmm. Yeah, 2018. And so I knew once I had kids, I wanted to stay home with her or him. And so anyway, so I decided I was going to step away from teaching, at least temporarily, and stay home with my daughter, Scotland. And so after a few weeks, I was getting a little stir crazy. I have worked my whole entire life, and so it was weird to sit home and not have like a job. And so my stepdad actually knew I was kind of getting stir crazy, and he owns a plumbing company and had never done any social media. And so he just asked, hey, do you want to run our social media? Because we don't have a presence. And I was like, yeah, give me something to do. That sounds great. And then from there, like Colleen and then her husband, my dad, both kind of had me dabble in things here and there. And I just immediately fell in love with social media marketing. The ability that we have to monetize whatever our passion is and then to explode it to the entire world it's fascinating to me, and I love it. I love that, with specific strategies, mm-hmm. you can literally monetize whatever your passion is and use strictly social media to do that and reach the masses. And so as soon as I started falling in love. And so then I started getting just more and more training. I took in every book and webinar and training and everything that I could get my hands on to get better and better at it. And from there, I just started kind of figuring out what my main niche was. So I started in mostly real estate marketing, and now I just have branched out to basically I just help all business owners kind of promote their personal brand and help them reach the masses.
Mm-hmm. So I love what you said about anyone can follow their passion, right? Mm-hmm. So what your purpose is, because we talk a lot about power, passion, and purpose. So whatever your passion is, follow it. And I love what you shared. We had a Teaching Tuesday yesterday. We do it the second Tuesday of every month. Ashlyn has a lot going on with Lead Up for Women lately. She was at the Sanctuary last weekend. She taught the webinar yesterday. It just all happened to fall in the same week. I don't know how that happened. And then she's today talking a little bit about her company, Amplified Social Marketing. But what you taught yesterday I thought was really important was it doesn't matter what it is. If there is a need, so think about this as a business owner or someone who's thinking of doing what it is that they love to do. If there is a need in the marketplace for it, you have a solution to solve someone's problem, you're in. Mm-hmm. And then you just have to hire a company unless you want to do your own social marketing. What I love about you, Bill, is you teach them either I'll teach you how to do it, and then you can do it on your own. So train the trainer, right? You're training the person how to do it. Or one-stop shop. You can just hire me, and then I'll take care of it all for you. Obviously, one is a little self-led. It's going to be a little bit cheaper. And then the other one's going to be a little bit more expensive because it's full capacity, all-inclusive, one-stop shop, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I definitely want people to, and especially one thing I'm really known for in kind of this industry is doing free strategy sessions and doing multiple of them. I'm all about kind of helping people figure it out on their own if they can. And then, like you said, if they're starting to grow or if they just hate handling it, then they can obviously have our team do it. But I love the idea of you not having to pay me for the rest of your business's life. But as it gets to that point, as you grow, then you're going to want to outsource your marketing.
Sure, absolutely. All right, you guys, we're going to run to one more break, and this is the perfect time to take a break because we're going to talk about how you can book your free strategy session with Amplified Social Marketing. So don't go away. We'll be back in 2 minutes. Stay with us.
Okay, great job.
All
We're
right.
out there.
Thank you, Monk. All right, Facebook, how you doing out there? If you guys have any questions for Kathleen or for Megan about the One Love Foundation, or if you have a question for Ashlyn, please feel free to drop your question in the comments section because we're on a break now, so our Voice America listeners can't hear what we're doing. We want to make sure that we're responding to you and answering your questions if maybe we started talking about a subject and didn't fulfill whatever that might be. And Kathleen, you also have another business that you are running now on your own. Are you?
I do. Well, my husband and I together have an Airbnb here in Old Town Scottsdale, which we've had for the last 5 years.
Beautiful.
And so after leaving corporate, had to do something. Sitting at home wasn't fun. And then I have another business where I help both men and women help build a business if someone is not interested in maybe working in corporate and want to work from home and raise their kids. Then I can help them build a business and actually.
What is that website? Is there a website or an email or Facebook or
the Airbnb site
for they want to leave corporate?
The business and health and wellness business.
You said if someone wants to leave corporate and work from home.
Then they can get in touch with me. Sure, at Kathleen.
How do they get in touch with you?
Yeah,
Kathleen?
Kathleen at KathleenMould.com.
Got it.
Yeah. Perfect.
All right, perfect. I'm putting that out on our in our Facebook. So right now we're just talking to everybody on Facebook, and I want them to know it's out there in case they're interested. And you can also go to Lead Up for Women, Kathleen, after this, and go to the comments section and put all of your contact information. So if you want to offer everyone listening or anyone that sees this video, because we get hundreds and thousands of views of it, after the fact, go ahead and put all your information in there and tell them how, if they're looking to leave corporate or work from home, or even if they're looking to rent an Airbnb in Scottsdale and you want to put the location out there, go ahead and utilize this for an opportunity for you to do that and market your Airbnb. Is it a mansion? I didn't know if it was big enough for us to rent for all of our women or not.
Nice. Soon. So that's coming
Nothing
soon.
is that big, Pauline. Nothing is as big as that mansion.
Thanks. That mansion was amazing. If any of you out there listening right now have not signed up for one of these events, you're crazy. It was life changing. One of our attendees is actually looking to get into a different business. She just realized I'm ready to move on to a different business. Carry on.
Speak up to lead up. To reach the show today,
Transformational
please call
life
1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to info@leadupforwomen.com. Now, back to this week's show.
All right. Okay, listeners, welcome back to Lead Up for Women, Speak Up to Lead Up. I am so glad you are all still with us today. And we have been speaking to Megan and Kathleen with the One Love Foundation. And we are now speaking with Ashlyn Leba with Amplified Social Marketing. And she's talked a lot about why social marketing is important, and we'll have her give some tips in a minute. But we were right before break. You were talking about how you offer free strategy sessions. So, tell us how anyone listening can get in contact with you for a free strategy session, and 2, what is a strategy session?
Yeah, for sure. So, so strategy session, I hate the term only because I feel like now it's turned into that just means a sales call. And I actually did a video on this like recently. I just hate that a lot of companies think, okay, yeah, I'll just give them a free strategy session, but it's really just a sales call to sell my product. And I have so many people that reach out to me after a strategy session days later that just say, I didn't even know that you offered this course, or I didn't even know you offered this. Like, why didn't you mention it on the call? And I'm like, because you didn't need that. And so it's a strategy session with me, at least, it's an hour of you can literally pick my brain if you just have questions. If you're already like really good at what you do and you just want to get a little better, I send ad copies and guides and everything. It's a lot of strategy packed into an hour. So whatever social marketing you need a direction on, it's definitely valuable. And then as far as booking that, I will after the show. I'll drop it in the link in there. But you can also just reach out to me on any major social media platform at Ashlyn Leba. And
just spell that. It's ASHLYNLEYBA for all of you listening, and that's how you're going to find her on Instagram. That's how you'll find her on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. Okay.
All
the main ones.
All of those, and you can always just shoot me a message and just say, hey, how do I book a strategy session? But I'll also drop it in the video. But it's definitely, I love, that's one of my favorite parts of what I do is because I love helping somebody just have the light bulb click of like, oh, I can do that. That's simple.
And I'm sure you see that a lot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet you do. So let's give some tips on, you had some really great tips yesterday in the webinar. So let's give some tips to maybe new things that have come up or the most common tips that you find yourself giving to people on social media. So anyone right now that's doing their own social media, doing their own Instagram videos or posts, what are a few tips that you would give someone out there on social media marketing? Most common ones.
Yeah, so some common things I run into are first of all that people don't have a Facebook page for their business, and it's funny because I always tell you have to have a Facebook page, and this is kind of it seems counterproductive because Facebook page they don't have a lot of organic reach. You can't really reach a lot of people from your page without putting money behind it, but I like to think of the Facebook page as that's your Grand Central Station. When somebody meets you anywhere else, when somebody meets you in person, online, or whatever, they're going to Google your name. They're going to search your name. They're going to search your company's name. And if you don't have that Facebook page to just exist on the platform as that business, you're already a step behind. So I always recommend setting up your Facebook page and then just making sure you're on at least the four major platforms like Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter. And I mean, I'll just kind of repeat what I said yesterday, but whatever you're doing, you can always put out more content. And it doesn't, if you listen to the webinar yesterday, it doesn't have to be difficult to make content. You
No,
just need to
you just do a
just do
video.
it, yeah.
Like, here's the biggest problem we have as women, and I'm just going to say it out loud. I don't have my makeup on. I don't look good. I don't know how to look in the camera. I don't know. Here's the trick I learned. It doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter if you have makeup on or not. I've seen some of the most influential women on Instagram in their stories that we all know just doing videos with no makeup on. They're in their workout clothes, or some of them are running, or they just got back from a run and they're making a smoothie. It's just giving information to your viewers and your listeners and staying consistent with it. So it doesn't matter what you look like. And the other trick is, by the way, stare at the camera that's on your phone when you're doing the video instead of staring at yourself. Because when you stare at the actual camera, then when the video is playing, the people can see that you're looking right at them and not like you're looking down kind of at yourself on the screen. It's a very simple tip.
Yes.
Very simple tip. So who cares what you look like? Just put a post out. And I love the other thing you said yesterday was, be the person that people are snapping, taking screenshots and resharing of your information. Don't just snapshot everybody else's information. Go and create your own quotes. Go and create your own information. Take something that you said once, create it as a quote, and put your name underneath of it and put it on your page. Then people will be like, ooh, I never thought about that. Mm-hmm. That's a great saying. You know, if you're speaking somewhere or teaching someone, people say, wait, what was that? Can you say that again? I want to write it down. That's your quote. Save it. That's your quote. You want to make sure you put it out there. You are just as relevant as every single other person out there that's an influencer. And if you have something and it's your assignment and your purpose, get it out there. Social media is the easiest way to get your business out there today, isn't it? It's like with the foundation, right, Kathleen?
Absolutely.
You want to share it, you got to get it out on social media. You have to keep it in front of people every day. What does research show that people are on their phones every day? Some like 5 hours a day or some crazy number, like scary number.
Yeah.
We don't use them just for phones.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I think 16% is phone calls, what we actually use it for in that 5 hours that we're on our phones a day. Mm-hmm. So if everyone's picking up their phones and that's what they're using, social media is so important. And if you don't have a social media company, or you need information, or you're looking for a free strategy session, you're welcome. I just gave you the company that you can reach out to and have a free strategy session. And you can look her up online, Ashlyn Leyba, ASHLYNLEYBA. Anywhere online. Just go find her, DM her, and ask the questions. There's no excuses. Just like if you're in an unhealthy relationship and you're worried, there are so many resources out there for you. There are no excuses for you not to go to joinonelove.org and download the free information to just see if you're in a healthy or unhealthy relationship. You might find out for yourself that you are in a healthy relationship. Maybe it's just you. I'm serious. Sometimes I always say, if something's going on, you might look in the mirror. You want to change the world. You better master yourself first, right? I love the information that you guys shared today. It's been super powerful. So, give me another tip.
Another one I would say is consistency is better than posting 17 times in one day and then not posting for 2 weeks. And so if you're posting 17
We've all been guilty
times
of that.
in a day, I even have too. And it's, the every single algorithm just likes consistency. That doesn't mean you have to post the same exact time on platforms every single day, just that you are active on there, because it just helps, everything helps the algorithm. And so instead of, if you have 17 pieces of things to post, great, you have the next 17 days. Like once a day is better than a lot and then nothing for a couple weeks.
I just had a burning question come up. Maybe the listeners want to know this. With the algorithms, does it matter if I post a video or a post? And I'm just thinking of Instagram, because all the research is showing and the numbers are showing that everyone's shifting over, right? There's still a lot of people on Facebook, but so many people are shifting and utilizing Instagram. So I'm thinking either Facebook or Instagram. Is it a post or a video, or does it matter?
Yeah, so
Stories or
really it depends on so the Instagram, and like you said, a lot of people are going to Instagram. So I basically, I always go back to something Gary Vee, he's a digital marketer, said.
Shout out to Gary Vee in the digital marketing space.
For sure. But he says he's learned two major things. Number one, never bet against Facebook. And number two, never underestimate Mark Zuckerberg. And what he means by that, so he has Facebook and Instagram.
Love that.
And what he means by that is he will dominate whatever the space is. And so he obviously has Facebook and Instagram. And so that's kind of why Facebook's Grand Central Station, like you got to be present there. But as far as content, like what to post, really it depends on what the goal of it is. If it's some sort of like call to action, like you're asking them to take action. I mean, videos are always really helpful, especially videos with captions, which you can put on for free on like YouTube or Facebook. Like you can add captions. Always add captions on the videos. I can't remember the stat, but it said something. It was more than 3/4 of people watch the videos without sound on. And you think of, you're in bed at night, you're not going to wake up your spouse, like you're just scrolling through stuff before bed and you're not going to turn the sound on. So make sure you have captions on that. But really, it's just a matter of posting videos often for sure, but then supplementing it with images and links and everything like that.
That's a good tip. So did you guys all hear that? It's consistency. So I think what we covered was don't rule out Facebook. Mark Zuckerberg owns Facebook and Instagram?
Yeah, they bought Instagram.
Right.
Gary Vee says he stole Instagram.
So he's still going to dominate.
Basically.
Got it.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. So Facebook is still in play. So be consistent on all channels. The other thing that you talked about was put the captions on for the videos. I just learned how to do that. It's very easy. You go to edit your video, and on the right-hand side, it says add captions, and it literally does it all for you.
Yeah.
And you can have that on there, so I love that. That's going to bring up your viewership, and people are going to stay on it instead of scrolling through. And be consistent. So do videos and do a post. And just try to do something every day instead of 17 times in one day and then not for another 3 weeks.
Yeah, and it's really seeing what your community resonates with. If I post a quote
ask
graphic,
the question.
Yeah, if I post a quote graphic that just my community just shares and loves and likes and everything, well, okay, that theme or whatever that thing was, it really resonated with my community. So I'm going to do more of that.
Another thing I learned I think is very, very simple that we can all do when you don't know what to put out, ask your community because they will tell you what they want, right? Hey, what do you guys want to see more of? Do you like these videos where I'm showing you for someone that maybe does makeup or hair? Or do you want this video? Or what content are you looking for? Ask, run polls, right? Those can easily be made from your phone in Instagram. Very, very simple, and put them on your stories. So the other thing is make sure that if you are running them on your stories, that you're saving them into your highlights. I think that's important because anyone that comes upon you for the first time and doesn't know who you are, and you've been in business for 5 years, they can go to all of your, what are those called?
Highlights.
In Instagram, the highlights. They can go to all your highlight and they can click on events. Or for me, I have, Voice America events. I have the webinars. We have all of the different areas that we serve, memberships, and they can click in there and see all the previous posts that were on our stories from years and years and years ago on there. And that's important to have all of those saved because if not, they go away in 24 hours.
Yeah.
That's why you want to save them. These are some majorly good tips today that we have going on. So thank you so much. Any last thing that you want to mention, Ashlyn, before we close out?
Yeah, I'll just say I would recommend booking the strategy session because I can give you really specific feedback and tips for whatever you're looking for.
It's really important to have that specific feedback and just kind of weigh I would say the healthiness of your social media campaigns that you have going, right? To see if they're good or bad or need some tweaking. We could all use that. Kathleen.
Yes.
Any last information? Thank you so much for being here that you wanted to share today.
I just everyone contact Megan, get in touch. Call me if you
Join
want.
onelove.org.
Join One Love. Just take a look. I did the escalation training maybe 3 years ago. That's how I eventually met Megan. I just called New York and said, "Who do I talk to?" And I did the training, and it was pretty awesome. So I still have it, and it's on there now. So you can go look at the videos. Yeah. Anybody can look at the story and read it, and they're doing great work. So
if you are dating anybody, or if you're a mom of someone that's dating someone, or a sister or an aunt or whatever it may be, or if you've noticed an unhealthy relationship, intervene and help out. Just download the 10 tips of the healthy and unhealthy and do the test and help them out. Because sometimes your intervention is going to be what's going to help this relationship. Because we don't want to see, I see it on the news a lot. I have had friends that this has happened to. It crazy changed my life when I was a child. And I saw it happen in my best friend's family, where she was killed by her ex-boyfriend in a park. Because she just couldn't stay away from him. And he said, "Would you just meet me with this one last time?" And it happened. And I think I shared that story with you. Megan, thank you so much for being with us today. It's just been a wonderful show. And it's so impactful. Is Megan there? She might not be there anymore.
No, she's gone.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. She's gone, but that's okay because Megan shared so much information about why they're doing it, and I love that this has grown bigger and bigger and bigger every year. So everybody out there, join onelove.org. All right, I want to talk to you real quick. Next week, we have a really big guest on the phone. I'm not going to be in the studio because I'm flying to Virginia to see 2 of my grandchildren. They're spread out, so I have to make time for all of them because we have 10 of them. 8 of them are here. 2 of them are in Virginia, so we're going to be there. We have Pam Lord with the Warner Brothers studio is going to be on the phone and interviewing with us next week, and I'm really excited for her to bring kind of we get a little behind-the-scenes look at Warner Brothers and the coordination that she does with Warner Brothers, and it's going to be a really interesting interview. So I think it's going to be entertainment for sure. So I ask all of you to jump on there. And the last thing I wanted to cover today was don't forget we have resources, events. We have Thrive Thursday newsletters that go out every week. If you are just looking to be part of this community for free, you can do that in so many ways. You can sign up for our Teaching Tuesday webinar every single month. You can get the newsletter every single week. We do a Thrive Thursday newsletter. All you have to do is go to leadupforwomen.com and you can download the free magazine. You can sign up for the newsletter. You can get the 10 tips of the month. We do a 10 tips every month that you can literally print out and put up on your wall as a reminder of 10 tips on how to meditate, 10 tips on how to have confidence in the workplace, 10 tips on how to get your grit back. There's a lot of 10 tips that we do all the time, and most of our members write these. And we are a membership-based organization, but your membership includes all the platforms that we provide for you. We are here to give you massive exposure through all of our resources that we have, like Amplified Social Marketing, through Join One Love Foundation. These are resources for you to be able to live your best life, and we're providing them to you so that you can have a voice. Speak up to lead up. If you don't use your voice and you don't get out there to be seen and show up as yourself, then you are just you are doing a disservice to us and everyone else in the world, because now we don't get to partake of what a badass that you are. So don't do that. You know your assignment, find your purpose, get out there and do it. And I want to just close real quickly by saying, remember, you are the only you that has ever been, and you are the only you that will ever be. So how you pioneer your future is up to you. Do not start tomorrow. Start today. Thank you, everyone. Thank you to my guests, Ashlyn, Kathleen.
Thank you.
We'll see you guys all next week. Have a wonderful rest of your week and weekend. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
We closed
Great
it out
show,
on
all clear.
time. Yes. Facebook. Yes, we did
Awesome.
it. So I'm going to come around and close it out.
Wow, that was good.
really
That was
good.
They did that on time. That was like not
Right on
knowing
time.
the last half hour.